Ever thought you could have a garden in your city apartment? Welcome to the world of urban gardening, a world where concrete balconies become flourishing flower beds and kitchen windowsills transform into herb havens. Urban gardening is the practice of cultivating, processing, and distributing food in or around urban areas. It's not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. It's about using your living space, however limited, to its maximum potential. It's about creating a slice of nature in your urban dwelling, nurturing it, and reaping the rewards. But the benefits of urban gardening go beyond personal satisfaction and well-being. It also has significant environmental implications. By gardening in the city, we contribute to reducing our carbon footprint by growing our own food, reducing the need for transportation and packaging. Moreover, plants act as natural air purifiers, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen, thereby improving the air quality around us. In urban gardening, we embrace innovative concepts like vertical gardening, container gardening, and hydroponics. Vertical gardens, also known as living walls, allow us to grow plants on vertical surfaces, breaking the horizontal space barrier. Container gardening involves growing plants in containers, such as pots, tubs, and barrels, perfect for those tight on space. And hydroponics? That's the art of growing plants without soil, using mineral nutrient solutions in a water solvent, maximizing the use of water and nutrients. Imagine a thriving vegetable garden on your balcony, where you grow tomatoes, peppers, and herbs, or a vertical garden on your living room wall featuring a stunning array of succulents. These are not just figments of imagination, but realities of successful urban gardens worldwide. Urban gardening is about making the most of the space you have. No matter how small, it's about transforming that space into a green sanctuary, a place of tranquility amidst the urban chaos. It's about embracing the challenge and reaping the rewards. So whether you have a tiny balcony, a modest windowsill, or just a corner of your living room, remember, in the world of urban gardening, every inch counts. Starting your urban garden is easier than you might think. Let's dive into the essentials. First things first, container selection. The beauty of urban gardening is that almost anything can become a vessel for your plants. From traditional pots to repurposed items like old buckets, tin cans, or even an unused suitcase. The possibilities are endless. However, it's crucial to ensure your container has good drainage. This helps prevent waterlogging, which can cause root rot and other plant diseases. Next, let's talk about plant selection. While it might be tempting to grow a sprawling tomato vine or a towering sunflower, remember, we're working with limited space. So, it's best to choose plants that are suited for urban conditions. Herbs like basil, rosemary, and mint are great starters. They're compact, easy to care for, and can be used in your kitchen. Leafy greens such as lettuce, spinach, and kale also work well in small spaces. And for those of you with a sweet tooth, strawberries are a delightful option that can thrive in containers. Now, on to understanding sunlight patterns. This might seem a bit technical, but it's actually quite simple. Most edible plants require at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. So observe your space throughout the day to determine where the sun hits the most. If your apartment doesn't get much sunlight, don't worry. Many plants, such as herbs and leafy greens, can grow with less sunlight. In addition, there are grow lights available that can supplement natural light. Let's move on to soil mixture. A good soil mix is like a balanced diet for your plants. It should have a combination of garden soil, compost, and perlite or sand. Garden soil holds nutrients and water for your plants. Compost provides rich organic matter, and perlite or sand ensures proper drainage. Avoid using soil from the ground as it might contain pests or diseases. Finally, let's touch on irrigation techniques. Overwatering is a common mistake in urban gardening. A simple way to check if your plants need water is the finger test. Insert your finger about an inch into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time to water. And remember, it's better to water thoroughly but less frequently. This encourages roots to grow deeper and makes plants more resilient. With the right knowledge, you're ready to start your urban garden. A space is a premium in the city, but that doesn't mean your garden has to suffer. In the world of urban gardening, the key is to think outside the flower box. It's about transforming that unused corner, the forgotten balcony, or even the living room wall into a mini oasis. Let's start with hanging planters. A fantastic way to utilize vertical space, these little wonders can be hung from ceilings, walls, or even window frames. From trailing ivy to vibrant ferns, hanging planters can house a variety of plants, giving your room a touch of nature's charm. Now let's talk about repurposed furniture gardens. Have an old bookshelf gathering dust, or perhaps a ladder that's seen better days. Don't throw them away. These can be turned into creative gardening spaces. Paint them in vibrant colors, stack your potted plants, and voila! You've got yourself a vertical garden. And don't worry if you don't have a balcony. Windowsill gardening is an equally good option. With the right choice of plants and containers, your windowsill can be a green haven. Go for herbs like basil, mint, or thyme. They love sunlight and are perfect for a quick kitchen harvest. Moving on to balcony rail planters, these are a boon for those living high up in apartment buildings. They can be easily hooked onto railings, creating an elevated garden without eating up floor space. Fill them with your favorite flowers or herbs, and you have a garden suspended in the sky. Lastly, consider integrating greenery into your everyday living areas. A well-placed fern on your coffee table, a row of succulents on your work desk, or a mini herb garden in your kitchen can make a significant difference. Remember, the only limit to urban gardening is your imagination. So, be bold, be creative, and most importantly, have fun with it. And if you ever feel stuck, don't fret. The internet is bursting with DIY garden projects and urban gardening communities eager to share their ideas and experiences. Remember, creativity is the key when it comes to urban gardening. With a little bit of innovation, you can turn any small space into your personal green retreat. A thriving garden requires love and care. Here are some tips for maintaining your urban garden. First, let's tackle pest management. No garden is immune to bugs and pests, but don't let that discourage you. There's a natural solution that won't harm your plants. Homemade sprays made from common household items like garlic, pepper, or even dish soap. Apply these regularly to keep pests at bay. Next, let's discuss fertilization. Plants are like us, they need food to grow. In the case of your urban garden, this means a good quality compost or organic fertilizer. But remember, moderation is key. Too much can be just as harmful as too little. Start with a small amount and adjust as necessary, based on the health and growth of your plants. Efficient watering is also critical to your garden success, but how much water is enough? Well, it varies. Cacti, succulents, and certain herbs prefer drier conditions, while leafy greens and most vegetables crave more moisture. A general rule of thumb is to water when the top inch of soil is dry to the touch. And remember, it's better to water thoroughly less often than to give your plants a little sprinkle every day. But what if you're a busy city dweller with limited time on your hands? Fear not, we've got you covered with low-maintenance plants that thrive with minimal care. Succulents, snake plants, and zizi plants, for example, are incredibly tolerant of neglect. Herbs like rosemary and thyme, or vegetables like Swiss chard and radishes, also require little attention yet yield great rewards. A thriving urban garden is not just about the initial setup, but the ongoing maintenance. It's about understanding the needs of your plants and responding accordingly. It's about being patient and observant. In return, you'll be rewarded with a lush, thriving garden that brings a piece of tranquility into your urban life. With regular care and attention, your urban garden can flourish. You're not alone on your urban gardening journey. There's a whole community of city gardeners out there. Just like you, they are turning their small spaces into green havens. These communities exist everywhere, from social media groups and online forums to local city gardening initiatives. They are platforms where you can share your gardening journey, ask questions, and learn from others. Imagine sharing the first sprout of your homegrown basil with a community that shares your excitement. Picture swapping tips on pest control with someone halfway around the world who's also tending to their urban garden. The beauty of these communities is not just the shared knowledge, but also the shared passion for green spaces in the midst of urban living. These communities are a testament to the fact that urban gardening is not just about plants, but also about people. It's about cultivating connections along with your greens. Join the urban gardening community and share your green journey with others. You're now ready to embark on your urban gardening journey. We've walked you through the basics, shared tips on starting your own garden, and explored innovative space solutions. Remember, urban gardening is not just about adding greenery to your surroundings, It's about enhancing your well-being and contributing positively to the environment. So, don't let the city limits restrict your green thumb. Start your urban gardening journey today. Transform your space, no matter how small, into a thriving garden that brings joy and tranquility into your urban life.